Hey guys, me again. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Now today I'm going to be doing a review of a sequel of a film I reviewed yesterday. So it was made in 2009, directed by Jaime Balaguerro and Paco Plaza, so the same directors of the first film. And this is the Spanish horror film Rec. And the story is as follows. It has just been 15 minutes after authorities lost contact with the people locked inside the building under quarantine. Nobody knows what happened inside. Outside is chaos as a SWAT unit enters the interior of the house to monitor the situation and determine what is happening. A seemingly quick and easy task, but everyone knows sometimes appearances can be deceiving. So the film is pretty much, Rec and Rec 2 were pretty much one big film because it starts off from where the first film left. So it's not a different story, it is basically the same story, just a really long kind of movie in two parts. So we have the authorities outside this building lose contact with the people inside. I'm not going to tell you what happens because that'll give away the ending to number one. But they lose contact with the inside, and so they need to know what's going on. So they get a SWAT team to go inside, monitor the situation, get some survivors, and just find out what the situation really is. And they're accompanied by this guy who works in the health department. So he's there to monitor and see if these people need medical attention. But there is more than meets the eye with this guy. The guy that works in the health department. He is there. His mission isn't exactly what the SWAT team have been told. He has a secret kind of mission. And things go a little bit awkward because, yeah, he goes in as a health inspector, but there is more to him than meets the eye. So that's as far as I go with the story. As I said, this is just a continuation of the first one. When I heard that this was being made, I thought, how are they going to do a Rec 2? And I was actually thinking, I was actually hoping that it would be exactly what it was, just a continuation from the first one. So when we see the first scene is basically them outside the same building, and as I said, it's more of a continuation, not a separate sort of sequel. So I really like that idea. I thought that's the only way it's going to really work, because you do a sequel in a completely different area, it just takes away the kind of realism and all the impact the first one had. Because I'm not going to give anything away, I can't really talk about that sort of part too much, but it makes it more realistic when you have a sequel that is a continuation rather than a separate sort of film. So I really like that. I thought that the story in some parts, towards the end, I thought the wheels were slowly coming off, but they never really came off completely, which was due to how it was made. I thought it was really well done. Having said that, although the story I thought was starting to get a little bit silly, I thought it was necessary for it, because there is no way they could make an interesting sequel that will grab your attention from start to finish if it was just like the first one. So they had to add a few more things into the second one to make it really interesting and make it different. Although it was continuing the story, they really had to make it different. So I thought, while it was getting a little bit silly in parts, the director managed to keep it on the tracks. It didn't fall apart. So in that regard, I really have to give the directors credit. They took a gamble. They made a sequel, a continuation, really interesting by having these sort of twists and turns. As the first one was basically just stand and deliver, it was panic, 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 and just run. This one has a few twists and turns. So this film, has a little bit more depth than the first one, and I actually thought the scares in this film were better. Although if I had to choose one, these two are very close together, but I would have to choose the first one, because I just thought the fact that it wasn't explained what was going on in the first one, I thought was a lot better. This one explained itself, which is probably what you want, because otherwise, as I said, it'd just be like the first one if it continued to be exactly the same. So the first one is basically telling you what this virus is like, and the second one is basically giving you an explanation. So whether you're not like that or not, I felt it had to be done. So I'm not going to give the directors any negative feedback on that regard, because to make a sequel, it has to be different, but at the same time be true to the first one and maintain a certain level of interest, and that's exactly what it did. The acting was great. As I said, there were some genuine scares in this film. I thought the first one was really scary, but I actually thought this one was a little bit scarier. It is really difficult to tell you which one I preferred. Each have their pluses and negatives, although if I have to compare them both, I think I slightly preferred the original, just for the fact we had a level of unknown sort of we didn't know exactly what was going on, which made it even more frightening. But this film, it really does sort of explain it. I can tell that, you know, a few people might not like the explanation of what's going on in this film, and other people will like it. You know, it's not as realistic as the first one, but it is still shot on the same sort of video camera style. So it is like the first one, once again, in the fact that it is panic. They're just running and everyone's scared, and you know, which is really good because we don't have a hero sort of Rambo style guy who's just taking them all on. It's very real. They've got very real emotion and they fear, and which is exactly, you know, what a normal sort of human being would be like. You know, Rambo, great action, but that's not realistic. But this one, they have realistic sort of reactions to things. So I thought, you know, that was really good. There's a bit more gore in this film, so Gorehounds, you'd probably like this one a bit better than the first. As I said, the acting was good, and the twists and turns, there are a few twists, and you know, I really enjoyed that part of the film. But if I had one criticism, I thought the fact that they explained what was going on kind of didn't make it. As I said, the first one it left you guessing, and you didn't know what was going on and whether or not it was. Well, actually, I can't say too much, but just the level of the unknown was more. Had a lot more to it in the first one. But as far as this film goes, as far as a sequel goes, this is an exceptional film. It is definitely worth getting. If you like Rec 1, you will like this film. And yeah, there is not too much wrong with this film at all. Actually, it met my level of expectation because the first one set a high level, and this one, you know, it's a very, very worthy sequel. So that's my review of Rec 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely recommended. Very, very good horror film, as the first one is too. Alright guys, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later. Bye.